All right, it is the G20 week. Of course, all nations or leaders are going to be in the Indian national capital. Our next report brings you more on how global leaders are poised to deliberate on critical issues such as climate change. Now, smaller nations that have been hit the hardest, the most, are expecting a stronger resolution from this G20 summit.
Right. Take a look at our next report for more details on this.
The global narrative has been clear about transitioning from fossil fuels to renewable energy. Yet the recent surge in fossil fuel subsidies, which reached an astonishing $7 trillion in 2022, it paints a contrasting picture. As of today, the wealthiest nations bear the greatest responsibility and the poor face the maximum brunt. And hence, the combined emissions of the richest 1% of the global population are larger than the combined emissions of the poorest 50%. Analysis from the International Institute for Sustainable Development shows that G20 governments provided a record $1.4 trillion to subsidize climate heating fossil fuels in 2022. And this came despite the fact that those same nations committed in 2009 to phase out inefficient fossil fuel subsidies. The G20 economies are responsible for about 75 to 85% of global greenhouse gas emissions. And the top three greenhouse gas emitters are China, US and India, while they contribute to at least 42.6% of the total emissions. And after decades of slow progress on climate action, with political leaders dragging their heels on finance or debating whether climate change is even real, this year's extreme weather proved a stark reminder that the world has reached some of the tipping points climate scientists have been warning us about. Researchers estimated that by 2040, the cost of loss and damage for developing countries alone could reach $1 trillion. But who foots the bill for the economies responsible for the bulk of past emissions? Well, time and again, world's poorest countries are the least polluting, but they are the most climate vulnerable. Climate change remains a key priority during India's G20 presidency, in line with the country's theme of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or One Earth, One Family. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi says that India has left no stone unturned in meeting its climate goals, despite accounting for less than 5% of the cumulative emissions.
We should not forget our duties towards Mother Nature. Mother Nature does not favor a fragmented approach. She prefers Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one earth, one family, one future.
While there has been a push and pull between the poor and rich nations over who should foot the bill for mitigating climate crisis, India is pushing for a more collaborative approach. With the planet's most powerful leaders coming together, there is a clock which is ticking. Time is running out for climate action. There is a wide rift among the G20 countries on issues like energy transition, cutting emissions, green border taxes, and phasing down fossil fuels. The big question is, can the world's major economies keep aside their disagreements and agree to a common cause of protecting our home planet and our future? Bureau Report, WION World is One.